Welcome to the Gigs Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Sands, founder and CEO of Gigs, the professional career platform for the live event industry. On this podcast, we are interviewing the very best in the touring and live event industry to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, and the unreal moments of life on the road and lessons learned while gigging. Today's a special episode. I'm really excited to share this groundbreaking technology that's completely taken over the sports world, now making its way into the music industry, with the potential to truly transform concerts as we know them. I'm talking about Q, an incredible tech company whose solutions are already being used across the NFL, college teams, European soccer, and most recently, the Olympics. We'll hear how this tech is making its debut in music with none other than country artist Riley Green. We're very excited to have with us Ryan Dokke, the Senior VP of Nashville Harbor Records and Entertainment, a part of Big Machine Label Group. Ryan continues to oversee radio promo for the label while expanding his focus on enhancing fan engagement and consumption through innovative marketing strategies. He helped bring Q's technology into Riley Green's latest tour. Also joining us are two key players from Q. Ira Akers is the co-founder of Q. He has over a decade of experience innovating in the live events industry, transforming Q from a cell phone light show to a brand engagement powerhouse. He has collaborated with premier sports organizations, festivals, and brands like Coca-Cola and Anheuser-Busch, establishing strategic alliances with companies like Comcast, T-Mobile, and Universal. Now, Kyle Campbell is the head of sports and entertainment at Q, with over a decade of experience producing NFL and NBA games, including the Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, and NBA All-Star Game. He has merged his passions for music and production at Q, collaborating with artists like Riley Green and brands like Toyota and T-Mobile. He focuses on helping artists and brands create interactive experiences that enhance fan engagement and collect valuable data. So excited to get started. And I want to first just put this first question over to you, Ryan. You were the first to introduce Q's tech into Riley Green's tour. What made you say yes to this?
Yeah, well, I think it started with a conversation I was having with one of Ira's partners. And the idea was, hey, how do we go into these markets, these venues, and take advantage of the people that are, buying tickets to see Riley perform, and then bring them more into his world, into his community. And through that conversation, I was introduced to Ira and Kyle and really learned what capabilities Q had to kind of not only collect the data, but also provide engaging content in that live music experience where, you have those periods of time where the artist is on stage and performing, but what about the pieces that come between the acts, right? Or before or after the concert. So the conversation just kind of moved very seamlessly into, hey, we can do a lot of different things here. And I believe we're just at the surface of what can happen here as we look toward the future.
Why do you think there's always been that dead zone before an artist performs or between changeovers? Is it for buying merch and buying food and drinks? Like, why has there always just been that dead zone?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think part of it is to allow the consumer the opportunity to, yes, buy merch, to use the restroom, food and beverage, obviously. But also I think that, as you look at the evolution of technology and capabilities against also just how we use social media, it's evolved so much even in the last decade that I just think we're at the front end of going, hey, how do these experiences change? You used to go to a venue, maybe you're using the restroom, using the concessions, you're there to watch the show, to now take, for example, you're buying a ticket to go to the Sphere, right, in Las Vegas, and how that experience has changed, and you see music in a whole different way, not only visually, but just even the way that you hear the music is different. So we're just at the front end of exploring a lot of different things.
This is so exciting.
They actually have smell as well now.
What?
Ported into the Sphere. So
you learn something new.
Yeah, when you're watching something, they have this whole, we did a tour because we were trying to provide some haptics and some cool stuff to it. And they showed us this big tank that had all these different units on it. And they literally were like, this is smell. So these will be ported in.
What kind of smells?
Roses to grass to perfumes, like
cedar.
Yeah, exactly. Like they have the safari and they'll shoot. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yo, that's
I
reminding
could be
me
at
of
a concert at the Sphere, and then all of a sudden I'm like, why does it smell like chocolate?
Yes.
yeah, or it smells like
Grateful
weed,
Dead
and you're
takes-
like, yeah.
Grateful Dead takes you into the Wonka factory. Yeah.
Whoa, that's wild. That's reminding me of like I went to Busch Gardens as a kid in Virginia.
Williamsburg, yeah.
And that we had there was like a pirate show, and they would they would spray water on you to get your.
Yep.
That's next, y'all. Let's talk about that.
Let's do it.
Come on, Q. Super cool. Okay, so let's talk about how it does actually engage the fans. What is this technology, and maybe put it over to you guys.
Yeah, so like Dokke said, like the big thing is thinking about that time, that blank time in this show where there's not much going on from a performance standpoint. How do we leverage that time? So what we did with Riley's group was our 3 products. One was our Trivia Mania product, which literally was just doing trivia and having people scan a QR code, and it helped us identify superfans, right? It's able to say, hey, this person literally won Riley Green trivia tonight in Baton Rouge. You're able to crown that person a winner. You're able to say, hey, congratulations, here's a prize, that type of thing. And you're also able to see after the fact, hey, congratulations, Ira Akers, this is that person's data. You're able to identify them and be able to crown them as almost a super fan in that sense. So that's one of the products.
Whoa.
The other one was a product called Post Up, which is one that we really has showed a lot of success with them on tour, which is our photo and video aggregation platform where people just scan a QR code now and submit in their content to go on the video screen. So everything we did was all about the screens and utilizing those screens in between acts and supporting and leading up to openers. And so no longer do we have to have people do QR code or do hashtags, excuse me. So this allows you now to brand a mobile experience, collect the data on the front end, not just tweeting a picture with yourself using a hashtag. It's just scan in, submit your content, and it just goes, and you're having a moderator up there that just easily puts that content. Because we know, Ira likes to always say, everyone's got a little bit of an ego. And so everyone wants to see themselves on the video board, which then transitions to the third product, which is called Fancy, where fans now can literally scan a QR code and live stream their selfie video right up onto the screen. And so that one is amazing because it turns your camera, you have no cameras going in between acts. This now turns into thousands of people live streaming themselves to be up on the screen. And so the way we structured it with Riley, which I really loved, I saw it personally in Baton Rouge, was the opening, it was Ella Langley, Tracy Lawrence, and Riley, and leading from doors to Ella, it was Post Up that was going for about an hour. It was like that whole doors open time, which was great. And we were getting anywhere from 800 to 1,400 people, let's say a night, that were just submitting in selfies, just constantly, because everyone loves to take pictures and just share that content. So just doing that. And then from Ella to Tracy, it was the Trivia Mania, where just, hey, let's quiz you, let's fill that 20, 30-minute gap. And then from Tracy to Riley was when we did Fancy, which we put it that way because Fancy is one that just generates some energy, right? And you got your headliner about to come out there. Now is the time to get people going, making sure you're gonna have the most people in the seats and just really get people going. So those 3 products of what we've seen, like from a music perspective, that we feel like really worked and really paid off and showed off with Riley.
I have so many questions. First, what was the hardest trivia question that people got that earned them the winner?
I would say it was there was one of them that comes to mind was either his birthday or which reality show Riley Green was on.
I know Ira knows.
Don't do that.
It was Redneck Island, I think.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's right.
Redneck Island.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Learn something new.
Everyone loves a trivia, especially these super fans. So they're scanning the QR code. You're getting their name, email, phone number.
We can collect whatever else. We did primarily just email collection with them. Yep. So you can easily do whatever you want, though.
Oh my gosh. And that's something artists have never had before, really, is these emails of the super fans, right?
Yeah, I think this has been collected in different ways. This is the first time I've seen it in a live venue experience. Like you're buying a ticket, you're going to the show, and there's that opportunity to kind of get Ticketmaster, AEG, StubHub. I'm sure that all of that data is obviously captured as you're buying your tickets and that kind of thing. But to take it from the standpoint of the consumer experience, I hadn't seen that done before.
No, that's because we were talking I might buy 6 tickets, but my name, the promoter just has my email. They don't know that the 5 other people might be even crazier fans. That's too cool.
Yeah.
So that's some really valuable data for that. And same with the Jumbotron feature. Do you ever have that during the show, or is it all between?
Yeah, it's really exists between in those breaks,
Yeah.
pre-show, and then in between the acts, and then I think we had it up maybe at the end of the night, but as people were exiting the venue.
Yeah, I can only imagine that would also bring people in faster, so you can start the show faster too. Very cool.
And we actually saw people like with Post Up that would post pictures after the fact in their car ride home, things like that. We've had people at home, like going home after the event and like literally still submitting in content before. It's pretty funny.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely chase down a camera to get on the Jumbotron. That's awesome. Everyone's, so then once you have, all this screen time, you have these video walls built already, putting these fans up on the screen. Is there room for sponsorship deals too? How does that work?
Yeah, we've touched on that a little bit. And I think, again, looking forward, there will be those kinds of opportunities. We'll figure out the right ways to integrate different brand partners into, the experience as a whole and ways that we can elevate their brands in that experience. We didn't do it on this past tour, but again, I think as we look forward, we'll be exploring all of those possibilities.
I'm curious, just for you personally, how long have you been in this industry? How long have you been doing this? Hey, welcome to the Gigs Podcast.
Exposed.
I'm a wise old man. 25 years. I started in terrestrial radio broadcasting and moved to the record label side of the industry in 2011. And it's been a wild ride, but really cool to go from, starting in the music business when, we were all rushing out to buy CDs to then, hey, Napster, you're cutting into our profits. Hey, now it's, we moved into the iTunes world, into streaming. It's been a really cool 25 years to, I think, be a part of the music business. And we're waking up every day going, what does the future hold? Like, it will continue to evolve as we, go through the rest of the decade.
I think in creating gigs, I've seen just how stuck in the Stone Age's music industry is. So I feel like it takes people who are really innovative like you to take a chance on a new tech. Why do you feel like the music industry is sometimes behind the times of new tech like this? Why is Q working in sports so well and now just trying to get into music?
Yeah, I think some of it is we live in a world where it's noisy, right? And I mean that metaphorically, but could mean it literally. It's what we're so inundated with information, data. How often do you go through the day where you're not looking at something in a social feed somewhere, right? And I think that, again, for us, being able to look at all of the different ways that consumers interact with content, with music, with technology, we're constantly seeing new things, and I think there has been a lot of innovation in the music industry. I think from a country music standpoint, what I hope to see us continue to do is look at different and unique ways to build communities around artists and around music. So much of what we do is how do we come alongside artists and music and help the music find its audience, but at the same time help artists build genuine fan bases.
Is that what you found from this? Like, what was, how many shows was Q a part of for Riley's tour?
All 33 of the tour.
I was going to say,
it was all 33 shows.
Dang.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through what that looked like of implementing it, getting actually involved, and then the process through, and then kind of the results of it?
Yeah, it was really seamless. It was easy to work with. Ira and Kyle was very, and the rest of their team was very smooth. We plugged them in with Riley's management team, which kind of coordinated the on the road, effort, the technology, how it works. They did a great run through with the team, and hey, here's how, because there was someone on Riley's team that helped moderate, these things through the evening, and it was really effortless, which obviously made it an easy selling point to like, hey, we want to plug this in on the tour, and it's really light touch for the tour personnel, but at the same time, it was just, again, a cool experience, I think, as a fan. From the label side, from the information gathering side, it was a great way to, again, like Kyle said, look at who the fans are that are buying the tickets, who are coming to the shows, but then also to start building these communities around, Riley, to go, hey, we love that you came to the show, and if you, want information about the next Riley Green concert in your area, we've got information related to that. If it's, hey, there's new music coming. Hey, for example, we've got an album coming out October 18th. We're now in the process of taking that information and pulling those fans back in to go, hey, we want to continue to keep you engaged in what's happening with Riley. He's got an incredible song right now that's moving up the radio charts called Damn Good Day to Leave. Obviously, we've got, a lot of promotion and support around the album, so we're targeting that. And then, of course, he's on this viral track with Ella Langley called You Look Like You Love Me. So there's a lot going on there. We're making sure that we use that data, responsibly, but also creating value for everyone that's involved.
It's so good. That's so good. I feel like there's so many companies out there trying to be this VIP for the fan club. Everyone's trying to solve this fan issue of how do you make this fan more than an Instagram follower or more than just a concert goer, but like they're in the club. And now like they have way more access to it, and it's getting more personal. That's so cool.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm thrilled that Ira and Kyle have come into our lives, and we hope to be able to build and grow, the partnership with them and to other acts that we have on tour. So
I like to just think about what you guys have to do to set up a tour date. I mean, there's so much that goes into that set up, tear down. I want to do everything that we can to squeeze as much out of that date, out of that evening as possible. And I feel like I'm so glad that you took the risk with us, because it has historically been just, stuff going up on the video board, and everything that we think about at Q is how do we engage the fan? How do we make the fan feel more part of the show? Sponsorship, data, all of that is kind of second for us, is say when building a product, you've got to make sure it's actually something that you would do personally. I'm kind of like a lazy fan. I'm going to just get what I need and sit down. And I always kind of run our products through my own test. Would I do this product at an event? And guess what? I was at a Pacers game forever ago, and we did a light show, our synchronized cell phone light show. And then my kids, we took a photo and shared it, and they got up on the video board. And it was like they will never forget that moment. Mm-hmm. It was the coolest moment to them that they were up on the video board. And so that's really, I'm so glad to partner. I hope to continue to expand this, because we want to do everything we can to give the fans something that they can't get anywhere else, that they see themselves up on Riley's board. That's like, now they're tied forever. Mm-hmm. I mean, they are tied forever. The Braves, talking with the Braves, they've said if we put as many people up on the board, because they are a forever fan once they hit that board.
Ooh.
That's really important, and that's part of the consciousness of the whole thing is to Ira's point, let's assume everyone that's in the venue is a Riley Green fan. That can vary in what kind of a fan they are, right? Mm-hmm. When you provide the opportunity to make memories. And that's what it is. That's why we buy tickets to go to shows, is to make memories. Mm-hmm. We want to hear our favorite band or, have a great experience at the show. But when you have those additional opportunities to, again, make memories because, you saw your family up on the screen, or, admittedly, I'm not that technically savvy, but my daughters would love the idea of doing Fancy, where, their mom's cell phone takes over the screen and they get to be goofy and show it up there. Those are memories that for, a 9 and a 7 and a 5 and a 4-year-old. I've got more, but I
was going to say, it's like 3, 2, 1, or we go blast off.
I'm kidding. I only have 4. But those are memories that last a lifetime. They'll always remember, the first time I saw myself up on the screen. And that's cool. Again, that's part of the overall experience. So again, like I said, and I'll continue to say, I think we're at the very beginning of a conversation. Hey, let's do this again, in 12 months and see where we're at after we get through another cycle or two.
And this, it's just the beginning of the technology of what y'all could do during a show. But if the artist is ever open to that and really involving
we actually did that with Daddy Yankee. We worked with Sooner, who from the podcast. So Daddy Yankee had a viral TikTok song. And last November I went down to Puerto Rico for his final shows down in Puerto Rico. It was 5 or 6 shows. And they actually used Fancy to have the dancers all had 12 phones. There's 12 phones laid out from T-Mobile, and they actually did the TikTok dance live off the phones in the audience using Fancy to live stream themselves right up on the video board. So, yeah, honestly, that was one of the first big music things we did, and we had always said, we're not here to be in the set. We're not here to be part of the actual music event. And then that was actually one of the first ones, which was really funny that it worked out like that.
Oh, there's so much to do.
Yeah.
Oh, so exciting.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to share about your experience?
Again, it's been a great experience, and I'm excited about, all of the different ways that we'll continue to explore, not only using, the data to elevate the experience for the consumer and the fan, but also just, again, how we fuse technology, artists, music all together. This is an exciting time to be in the music business.
Ryan, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here, all of your experience, and like that, this really worked. So cool to have you here. Thank you.
For sure.
Ira and Kyle, I want to hear about you guys now and really the creation of Q and all the personal details about your lives. So let's get into it. So Ira, first, I want to hear what led you to create this and tell me the story.
Yeah, well, I've got to be honest. I didn't create. My partner, Jameson Rader, spent better part of 2 years figuring out how to create a synchronized moment. He'd created some apps for minor league hockey teams in a basement in Omaha. The dude's a savant. He's like so brilliant. And graduated high school at like 16, graduated Northwestern in like 2.5 years. So
Jeez.
He's a whiz. Anyways, so he was trying to synchronize these devices. He was doing data economics for a hockey team there, and he created their app and was trying to synchronize them to do a light show. And he successfully used sound instead of Wi-Fi or cell service. And so, long story short, he had sold to a couple teams, and he was just kind of not really getting anywhere. And
wait, I want to go back real quick
Yeah.
to what does that mean using sound instead of cellular?
Okay. All right. So how it works is we have these inaudible triggers, and if you were to look on a spectrogram, there are these like, if you were to evaluate it, it's like these things that go like this, and they're in 17.5 to 19.5 kilohertz. And so if you were to look at a spectrogram, it shows that area of sound, and then it shows these angles that are distributed amongst that wavelength. And our tech can hear that and decipher that as an ID.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Like an audio QR code.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's transmitting sound, data over sound. Yeah. So the phone hears that, and then we create a synchronized light show. So we control the light, we control the on-screen content, and the speaker, and some of the operating systems. So it's
Okay. So then when did you hop in?
yeah. So I, oddly enough, right below us was my office. When I was at a company called Hurdle, we were a pretty fast growing startup here in Nashville. We'd gone through Techstars music, and we had wristbands that were text activate, and we were trying to collect data on fans and then give them an experience that when they text in, it was a survey, and they'd answer the survey, and then we'd paint the crowd like all the veterans, and if you like Pepsi, and all the women, all the men, and we do some really cool stuff with the kind of like Taylor Swift, but using RF and
with everyone's phone. So like
no.
Oh, no.
This was wristbands.
Oh, wristbands. Yeah, got it.
So this was a company called Hurdle. Again, right below us in this office was my office. So funny full circle moment for me 10 years later. Now we have Q, and so I met Jameson at a conference, and he was there. He's 22 years old, and he was trying to sell, and I was like, this guy, he's onto something. And so we talked, and he was like, I'm having a hard time getting this out. And I said, well, I have all these relationships. What if we partner up? And his company was called Curator. So I said, hey, we are going to need to change that name to Q. And
why?
It sounded kind of like a pirate. He laughs. His last name is Raider.
Oh.
But I have to tell you, this is one of the funniest things. About a year ago, I had a guy reach out to us, and I talked about the light show, and he said to me, he's like, this really looks familiar. Like there was this company previously that had something with Raider in it.
Oh my.
And I lost it because I knew this story from just conversations with Ira and Jameson. So I put in like our Slack and I was like, guys, somebody's looking for Q Raider. Like they're out there. So Jameson got a kick out of it. It was hysterical.
Q Raider. Q the Raider.
So you're curating was the whole thought behind it. Anyways, I wanted to simplify the brand. I brought in some investors and we started growing the business. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to pause because the AC hasn't come on. Can I check that? Is there like
It came on for like 2 minutes and then it shut off.
Talking about the AC?
Yeah, I think it went back up to 73.
Yeah, it's probably just restarting.
Oh, okay. And is it on auto? Is it on auto?
Yeah, it should be. Just whatever temperature it's on, I would just set it.
Office was right below it.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny?
You like pulled up and you're like, wait a second.
When I saw the address, I was like,
Oh, okay.
funny.
Yeah.
Hey.
Isn't that cool?
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. We were in here one day when it was like 100 degrees and
That
it
was an
was
impressive move there. Could not. That's
slither
nimble.
little snake.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So got some investors in.
Yeah.
Boom.
So we got some investors in. We were working with Coke and some university. We had like Purdue and Marquette and a few others. And we really doubled down on the university space, knowing that not many people were in that space, especially with interactivity and fan engagement. I was at a conference in Houston. I'll never forget. This guy calls me, Kyle. He calls me from the Saints. And he had seen some of our activations.
UNC men's basketball game.
Yeah, at UNC. Yeah. And
Sick.
so he calls me. I don't even know what number you called. I don't even know if.
Well, I have no idea.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
So Kyle was super innovative with the Saints. He was the #1 team in fan engagement, which was really led by he and a few others on the team.
Wow.
I'll never forget, Kyle did something really cool with the Saints that I still have a shirt. He got in big trouble with the NFL. He actually had everyone.
I didn't get in trouble.
Oh, okay.
They made a rule because of
made
me.
a rule.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
I actually have that shirt with me.
Do you
on this
really?
trip?
Are you
It's in my bag.
serious?
It's in my suitcase downstairs.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
hilarious. So he, the front of the shirt looks like a jersey, right?
It's just a black, like a Saints black. Yeah,
Saints,
yeah.
and then the back is the same color as the goal post. And so he handed those out to everyone in the end zone. And so when it was time for them to kick a field goal, everybody would turn around and it would blend the color of the.
Yeah.
Yo.
It was fun. They didn't. We did it against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They didn't miss, but
It's so cool,
it got
though.
some. It got some good little buzz, and I got some phone calls on Monday. It was. Yeah. It was.
That
It
is
was fun.
so cool.
It was a dream, honestly. It was a buddy of mine and I had an idea in college when we were at UConn, and like we always wanted to do that, and we thought about with basketball doing like orange with for a rim,
wow.
right, and then yellow for a field goal post. But I got the actual Pantone color of a field goal post, and then a buddy of mine who works at a promotional products company, I was like, hey, I need a shirt this, and he's like, you mean like 2 shirts sewn together? I said, yes. They were like $6 a unit.
Yeah, I was about to say.
But it was Bud Light. It was the Bud Light special team. So Bud Light sponsored it, and so they cover the cost. And so everybody in the end zone there had like a little. It was a long night. It was Halloween weekend, 2021. It would have been. It was. I'll never forget that.
So we're gonna need a clip of that to actually see
I got some photos.
everyone just turning around.
Yeah, it's not as like flush as you think, but you'll see it.
That's some fan engagement right there.
Yeah, we like to
Okay.
see some cool
He was,
stuff.
man, he was the king of it. So,
Damn.
we had worked with the Superdome for 4 years.
Yep.
Doing the light show in the Superdome because it can get completely dark and it's like
Only building in the NFL that could do that every
unbelievable.
game.
Let's talk about what is the light show? What is that?
So that's the synchronizing everybody's phones together. So when I saw it at UNC, I'll never forget. It was literally seeing Jay Billis doing I think it was like a Monday night game and doing the stand up, and I just see everyone's phones flashing behind. And I was like, what is that? So I just did some research and found it on YouTube, I remember, and then got in touch with Ira. And the reason we were able to do it and the reason why we did it was obviously to engage the fans, but it bypasses all Wi-Fi and cell needs. And so, like we said, it's all through sound. And so the Superdome opened in 1975, I believe it was. Hasn't been much technological upgrades in there from an infrastructure standpoint. So the Wi-Fi in the cell in there was always really terrible.
Still
We
is.
literally ranked 31 out of 32. When I was interviewing for this job, we had a Google Meet call in an empty building, and it dropped
It's
me.
empty.
Oh
They
my
couldn't
God.
have
Empty
Google
building. Never mind 70,000 people. So the light show was the only tech that our administration at the team felt comfortable doing year after year, game after game, because it bypassed all the cell and Wi-Fi.
That
And
is so cool. So
Yeah.
so someone is not behind, pushing the
No.
button for the. It's literally just
What
synced
you're
with
saying.
whatever you're
Yeah,
playing.
it's-
If you press play.
Yeah, you're a Q technician.
That's insane.
All they
Yeah.
have to do is press play on what they're already doing. We don't change anything. So
Wow.
they play their intro video. It's in that audio.
And
Yes.
anyone can do it.
Anyone can
Yeah.
do it. So they have to have the Saints app downloaded. It's not a separate app. It's actually we're embedded in the app. We have to have the app because Safari won't allow us the light access without having something on the operating system. So a fan will download the app, and then Kyle would tell everybody to open their phones during that moment. It would give a massive increase of app downloads.
Yeah.
So much so, I keep saying this with our team, but the Bengals came to us saying their production team, they used the light show, and the production team said whether we wanted to do this or not, our digital team is making us because of how many downloads this brings
Yeah.
our
To the
app,
team
to
app.
the team app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
So it gives them something to really connect with the fans. So it's fun.
And people keep the app downloaded.
Yeah.
Last year, the Jaguars were like, we were blown away that people weren't just deleting the app afterwards. Like it kept, so huge for the
Well,
clubs.
and that's where the team can then do notifications
Yeah,
to them. I mean,
totally,
they're
completely.
like,
Completely.
that's what
It's a
they
connection.
need.
It's
You're
a true
getting
connection.
finally someone to download that thing that people want
Which
them
is,
to.
it's funny. It's such a byproduct of the actual engagement is what you're getting. Like that light show is, it's unbelievable. So I started with a wristband and realized that product was just so expensive. It's cost prohibitive for most teams. And the data that we were collecting, they wanted us to pay for it. So moving to Q, I kind of learned that the hard way. And now we were using everyone's cell phone, $1,000 cell phone in their pocket, not having to distribute wristbands, not having to have all this waste and leftovers. Everyone has a phone. Let's use it. Let's bring it into the engagement. So
That is too freaking cool.
it's fun.
Why sports? Why was that the first thought to break into?
Yeah, I think sports have the same kind of script. You know what I'm saying? And there's that intro, and there's timeouts. There's the need for that fan engagement. Sometimes the team's not really the fan engager.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
got to create those moments, and I'd let Kyle kind of answer that too.
I think there's just an expectation in sports to do something cool, and there's a very friendly competition amongst all sports teams to have the best show.
Yeah.
Particularly in the NFL. Like I'm very close with people across the league, and everyone's always competing to do the first and be the best, and so there's totally an expectation within sports. 'Cause I mean, you go to a match, you go to a game, and whether it's a Titans game or a Predators game here, you're always expecting something when there's nothing happening on the field, right? You go for the football game, a Titans game, but you also know, hey, there's going to be a mascot skit, there's going to be a cheerleader performance, there's going to be this promotion with Raising Cane's right now that we're doing, for example, with them. Like you have an expectation to be entertained there. And so that's why with sports, it just made a lot of sense with that. And that's how we kind of built the profile that we have amongst sports.
And I'm sure sports is just trying to get people to come to their games still. Like, how do you make it the most engaging?
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of it. I mean, as Ira said, like the team's not always what's going to be the draw. It's and think about though too, like I know we're talking a lot about NFL, but we work across all levels, minor league, high schools, everything in between. So we literally had an elementary school sign up for a light show literally this week. I'm not kidding you.
Oh my god!
And so this little third graders running around with
What are they doing with phones?
I know that's a good. I don't know, but I don't know. We don't need to go into that. But yeah, so it's with sports. There's definitely just like an expectation, and you have the desire to want to be entertained, make those memories. We talked about the Braves, for example, earlier. Like, how are you attaching? And ironically, I went to a Braves game when I was my senior year of high school, and I got to be on the video board and do a trivia game, ironically, on the video board. And I'll never forget that connection. I have a video of it on like my YouTube page that I just have, and it's Kyle from Connecticut down in Atlanta, and I'll never forget
the announcer came and got him and asked him questions, and he's like, it's so
but like that ties a memory to it, so we try to just obviously build that up more.
So cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're clearly in sports. This is a validated product.
Yeah,
this thing is
well-oiled
working.
machine. Yes.
You were just in the Olympics.
Yeah.
The hell does, like, how do you do that? And how did that work?
Yeah, so with the Olympics, we're with our product Post Up, which we were on with Riley, the photo and video aggregation. So that was actually through an inquiry. Somebody came through our website and said, hey, we're this company that does large events over in Europe. And I got on with them and we ran through the products and they're like, this is really simple. Like, what's the catch almost? It felt like there is no catch. And so we did the Olympics and the Paralympics with Post Up across all of their different venues there. It was wild to see the numbers. We had about 32,000 unique users across the 16 or 18 days of the first Olympics. 32,000 people do about 41,000 photos they were submitting in across all of France, which was cool. So like you can go in there and see some of the content where people are at the Eiffel Tower, or people are or at cycling and you know what I mean, in a park somewhere, and seeing people at basketball and gymnastics, swimming, and it's just really cool to see how easy it was. So having Post Up there was really cool for us.
Who's getting that data?
That was not a data grab, that one specifically. That one was more about, let's just get people to get their content up there. And it was a legal, there's a lot of hurdles legally with that, just because there was GDPR compliance in Europe, and there's all these different opt-ins that people had to do. So we worked through it, we got through it, and we are still 100% from legal there's never been a legal reason we haven't completed a deal and gotten activated with somebody, and it's been really fun to just see our legal groups just kind of figure out ways to get stuff done. So we always know, like, once we get we're going with this, when legal gets brought up, we know we're gonna get through it. But yeah, it was cool.
So Ira, I met you 2 years ago and I heard about this and was like, well, first of all, I go to shows late because I hate that changeover. Like, I'll sometimes miss the opener because I just hate waiting. There's so much dead time. It's unbelievable. There's some artists, like I just went to Hootie and the Blowfish, and they were using the screens to put up sponsorships. I was like, I see what they're doing. Okay.
For sure.
This could be more interactive though. We're all freaking bored. So that was the number one. And number two was, how do you then get the data? So I want to get into, like, first of all, y'all are getting into music. I mean, this is a no-brainer.
Right.
And clearly it's working. Why do you think, first of all, there's been this, it's so easy in sports. Why is it weirder with
It's kind
music?
of funny. We've been doing a lot of demos lately with whether it's tour managers or labels, and you just said what they all say. This is a no-brainer. Like almost every call, that's what is said. Even with sponsors like T-Mobile, like, where have y'all been?
Totally.
You know, we just talked about trying to do this, and now we're on this call. So that's been exciting to hear the feedback. And it's also exciting to know that they're not the first to try it, meaning, like, they might be the first tour with Riley Green just recently, but man, we're doing this at the Olympics. We're like, this product is not new. It's not, I mean, it's innovative, but you're not having to be the guinea pig, which is fun.
Yes, so true.
That makes it really easy. We know what we're doing, and we'll help guide you. We know fan engagement. Like, we really know how to bring people in. And so, that's what.
I think from a music perspective, it's just the saying, I hate the saying, but it's just the way we've always done it. And any of my old staff would tell you, like, if they ever said that to me, I would literally say, like, go, leave, get away from me. But it's totally has been like, that's just the way we've always done it. And so there's not always been a willingness for somebody like Ryan to, like, push the envelope and say, let's do this and see the payoff. Because to Ira's point, when we get in front of the right people, everyone's like, all right, this makes a lot of sense.
It's almost like you don't know what you don't know, and I don't mean that mean. It's just like, damn, there's a full length, like, there's a big screen up here. We're waiting till the show starts. Why aren't we doing something with it before?
I tell people all the time, we're a solution to a problem they don't know they have.
There you go.
And it's genuinely, like, truly, once you see it and you see it roll and you see the numbers coming in, it speaks for itself.
And it sounds like we're selling right now. Like, I swear to God, I'm trying to educate, because like, I want the tour to make money off of us. Like, I want to let everyone know on this podcast that you can literally make a ton of money
Let's
off
talk
of
about
us.
that.
Like, we know how to engage fans. When you engage fans in a way that we do, sponsors will pay for it. Not just pay for us. We see 2 and 3x what we charge. We wholesale is what we say. We wholesale our services to the team or tour. They flip it to a sponsor and really see some return. Not only that, it's not just eyeballs. Even the sponsor will capture data. So where a sponsor may, like a Tito's, may want to have tastings and other things, like to capture names, numbers, whatever, we can do all of that without having to send someone on the road.
Wow. And then once you have, say, with Riley Green, they wanted name, phone number, email, or name and email. That's it.
Email. Yeah. Primarily
What do they
email them.
do then? Can you get into how can they, how can an artist make some more money with that data?
Good question. So we worked with Chris Paterno over at Herd, and
Shout out.
Yeah, he's great. The dude is just a mind. He's brilliant. So he knows ads. He knows how to really. He's figured out that's what his company does. They do ads, and he took our data, created a lookalike audience. I mean, this data is like the gold mine of data for Riley Green. These are the people that are paying to get into your venue to watch you perform. And so taking that data and then creating a lookalike audience from that data and then advertising to that, they were able to decrease their cost per
click per stream kind of thing
by like 22 to 23%.
Whoa.
Which was huge because they're spending, I can't say how much, but they're spending a lot of money every month. And by reducing that cost, it's real savings. Because it is the gold mine of data. It's the people that have paid to come to see you.
And creating that lookalike.
Yep.
Super interesting how you can do that.
Yep.
Also mirror what this type of person is doing to get the cost per click, because we're doing that. Like, it's crazy. You see, and then you see the engagement even more because you're getting the right people.
Then to use that for other tours in that market that are like Riley Green, it's just like you just start building this data set that is so valuable.
Wow. And then they can become even more super fans than when Riley Green opens up his fan club. Totally. Boom, they're the first ones in.
Absolutely.
And then
tour announcements, album announcements, like those are conversations we've already had with them for this new cycle. We talked with Riley's team about a month and a half ago. It was like, hey, how can we do something? He just opened his new bar here. How can we do something there? How can we do something with the tour announcement, album announcement? So they're starting, and honestly, Ryan's been helpful facilitating that too, of like just getting creative. Like he called me literally 2 days before the bar opened, and he's like, hey, how can we help capture data? How can you guys help us capture data at this? And so getting people in that mindset has been huge with that.
Okay. Why do you guys do it? Why do you love this so much? Because startup life sucks. Why? Like, what are the exciting moments that you wake up and you're like, damn, today is worth it because that happened?
So I mentioned that I was in an office downstairs just because I remember sitting there like, how do I get this out? Like, and that was with a different product. I had all these connections. I had all these people that I was talking to. I had just the wrong product, and it felt so damn good to meet Jameson and us be able to, join forces and go after this. And now I'm here talking about, being able to work with the Olympics and NFL part. It's like my mind is really blown. I mean, the fact that I even have Kyle on my team, I really, when I started working with Kyle, I was like, this guy's dynamic. He actually performed our product so well that like the NFL sent it out in their newsletter and we kept picking up more teams.
Wow.
He came on the team. We went from 4 to 6 teams to 23 teams.
Kyle.
So it's like, I just pinched myself that I was able to see this come together and get to work with some of the best in the business and know that we still have so much more to do. So why do I do it? I love creating those moments that are just so special. So special and so like sexy, and like when you watch our light show, it's crazy. Like it really is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I can't say I don't still have like that panic moment when I'm in the
every single
Superdome
time.
of like,
every single time.
oh God, here it goes.
It never, I mean, I was doing it, when I was calling the games with the light show for, I think it was 3 years I did it while I was there. Every single time you're nervous. I had the Philadelphia Eagles started it last year, and I had a call the day before their home opener, and my friend Allie there, she's like, Kyle, like I'm terrified. Because the tough thing about the light show is there's nothing to hold. There's nothing to really like. You're like, all right, well, we're all in on the promotion. We're all in on making sure the tech works. We test everything and all that, but like until it actually happens, there's no way. It's such an unknown. It is
Because
such
it's
a
on
freaking
sound,
rush.
man. You
It
can't
is-
hold on to sound.
It is such a rush though when it happens, and that first time it lights up like that. Oh,
We've literally never had an unsuccessful event
Hell
like that.
yeah.
But
I'm not
still,
saying-
those butterflies
but still, I get butterflies
Yeah.
because it's yours, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Like, so-
For me, like I just love live events. I mean, it kind of shown with my experience, and I think it's always been. I've always enjoyed going to them. I remember my first concert was the Beach Boys and at the Webster Theater in Connecticut,
Badass.
and I've always loved just doing things. My wife tells me I'm a golden retriever. I'm always wanting to run around and do different things, but for me, it's always just about enhancing that experience, really wanting to make sure that people are enjoying themselves. And for me, Ira knows this, like there's been certain times like I'm going to wait to put my name behind something and push something out, one of our products, until I feel great about it. And we work with our product team closely to be able to say, hey, let's tweak it like this, maybe to think about the fan journey a little bit more, just closely. And then that helps us be able to just make sure we all feel good about it. And I'm selling these products to my friends. These are literally like within the NFL and music now and stuff. These are my friends, and I value my relationships with these people a lot. And so for me, I just want to put my name behind something I believe in, for sure.
That's too cool.
Yeah.
What was your first concert?
well,
gosh.
my most memorable was George Strait, 5th grade.
Yo.
Yeah, in Abilene, Texas. That's where I'm from. And so
Oh my gosh.
he came to Abilene. I don't know why he came to Abilene. I mean, it's in Texas, I guess, but me and my buddy, we had signs, and it was unbelievable.
What-
I actually came and watched him here.
Yeah?
He came and friggin' got rained out.
That was the one.
Oh.
Yeah.
But he sang
Brutal.
Amarillo Morning before he left. So.
Was that what it? Yeah, because he was with Stapleton, right?
Yeah,
For that show.
Stapleton
Yeah.
was unbelievable.
Oh,
I'd never seen him before, and my jaw was on the floor. Christine was like, "Ira, you haven't moved," and my wife, I literally was just like, I couldn't believe how good he was.
I've seen him probably 5 times now.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the only artists that sounds better live than
Yes.
he does
Yeah.
recorded.
He never missed
wild.
a note.
In every way. No, never. No.
Never missed a note. And his notes are crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I wish that I could have seen him with the Steel Drivers when he started with
gosh.
them. That's true. He's one of the greatest concerts
Totally.
I've ever been to.
Totally.
He has one of those voices that I call water voices, where you could he could sing anything and it would sound good.
Yeah,
He could sing
seriously.
crazy weird stuff. and it'd be
Our coworker Jack just sent me last week from Bobby Bones show years ago. He wrote "Your Man" by Josh Turner.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't know that. And there was this.
I didn't know that.
There's an awesome YouTube video of them just being in studio and him singing. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Wow.
it's wild.
Amazing.
Well, now I'm curious for touring. So so y'all did Greta Van Fleet as well, right?
Yeah.
And then you have someone else that just happened.
Yeah, so we just are starting up. Literally, we launched at Madison Square Garden this past weekend with Sabrina Carpenter.
Yo!
So we're have our one of our products on tour with her, which obviously is pretty monstrous for us. I'll be honest, I didn't realize how big she was until I started talking about it with some people at work, and then some friends a little bit. I was like, "Yo, we're about to be on tour with Sabrina Carpenter," and
No, she's it. She's
yeah,
the
yeah,
next girl.
she's it. So we're working with T-Mobile. We were part of T-Mobile's accelerator program last year. And so Ira and one of our coworkers, Chris, went out to Bellevue and actually presented our products in front of some members of the technology team.
Yeah,
and things like
CTO
that.
and actually CEO was there.
Yep.
That's pretty
Cool.
And that kind of initiated this, and it's been a long process, but we finally were able to get in front of the right people with their agency that they have, and they saw the products and like, okay, again, it was a no-brainer. It was,
Yep.
wait a second, why haven't we been doing this?
Wow.
We wish we had this product for other tours that we've already done. Like, let's not dwell on the past. Let's just focus on now and the future.
Yeah.
And they've come back to us with other projects too coming up, hopefully. And so T-Mobile likes to have fun. Let's be honest. Like that's what they do. They want to have fun. They want to magenta. What did Stasia say? It's magenta ties.
Yeah, something like
It's something like that. They want to magenta. That's a weird.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
that word.
But they want to put magenta everywhere.
Yeah.
And so we can help do that. Like we can put it on everyone's phones. We can put it on the screens, obviously. And so we're there to help do that. And so it's Sabrina's tour is really exciting. They're using our product called AR Prize Drop, where they're literally having people. There's 2 different versions we're doing. We're doing one in arena. So every stop on the tour, just as part of the video board rotations, there's a QR code, scan here for your chance to win Sabrina swag. And so we're literally, what the product does is when people scan in on the QR code, opens up the browser on their phone, and they're able to literally see parachutes falling in AR space on their phone. And they click little parachutes that are little hearts that are hanging from parachutes with a T-Mobile branding, of course, on it. And within, there's 3 prizes every night. They're doing a piece of merch. They're doing 2 pieces of merch, and then her perfume every night that we're giving out. So that's in arena.
It's like Pokemon Go.
Yeah, it really is. Honest to God, I say that all the time. It totally is. And then also we're doing it through their app called T-Life, which is for T-Mobile customers only. And they're going to be giving away the tickets to every stop on the tour as well. So it's, hey, here's your exclusive perk for being a T-Mobile customer. Having this, you scan in, we're literally going to give away a pair of tickets at each stop of the tour.
That is so sick.
Yeah.
Fan engagement.
It's easy.
There's so much a tour can do.
Yeah.
And what person on the tour is corresponding with Q and like making sure it's all set up?
So the nice thing about Sabrina specifically is this doesn't require anybody on tour because it's just scan a QR code. There's no real visual on the board besides just that graphic, because it's all the AR prize drop is one of the unique products of ours that doesn't have an output, as we say, right? So it's not showing images or things like that. This is literally a mobile only experience. So we're able to literally just have that graphic run, and it's the game's getting stopped and started every day of a show. And so it's not needing to actually have somebody there moderating it. For Riley's tour, say, for example, or Greta Van Fleet, when we had Post Up and we had Fancy, we worked with the management groups, and they were mostly doing, having somebody from the video team that wasn't really working in between sets, and they were just tipping them out. And so there was an opportunity for people to make some extra cash. And then that's because there was nothing going on for them in between acts, right? And so, hey, why not make a couple $100, whatever it is, for just moderating Post Up or putting fans up on Fancy.
And you don't need to fill another bunk then, because that's a whole nother thing.
Totally,
Like,
it's cost per person on tour.
Yeah.
We've had, very early in our conversations with some music people, a good friend of mine, Chris Broussard, who works with Lauren Daigle. Chris is a very, very, very good friend of mine. And I told him about this, what we're doing. He's had calls with Ira and stuff before I even worked here. And his first question was, well, who's doing it? Now, and how do we staff against that? And so that was something that it took a little bit to figure that out, for sure. That was one of the hurdles that we had getting into music. And so now that if a label wants to do it and management wants to do it, they're going to find somebody to do it. And it's very simple. It's really simple.
Is there potential for the light show? Because with Taylor Swift, with the wristbands, so cool, but expensive. Is there a way for your light show to work with the sound from live music?
Yeah, it totally can, and it already does. We've done it with some concerts with stuff. The hurdle we've seen just with music, with the light show, is having to download that app.
Yeah.
Right? Like we said, Apple restricts access to that phone's flashlight. And so getting people to download an app for a one-night event type of thing, it's tough. That's why we transitioned into these more web-based products where it is just scan a QR code and you're there, instead of having to do
Freaking
the
Apple,
app.
man.
It's coming. I mean, we will be able to.
We're prepared.
Yeah.
We are
As soon
very
as-
prepared.
So you can with Chrome, and as soon as Safari adopts the same kind of methodology, we'll be.
That's why I'm
Well-
that's why I'm an Android guy.
That's well, I changed my settings so that whenever I scanned a QR, it went to my Chrome.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But
So,
but still.
That would be a real. Hey, everyone, change your settings real quick for us. Oh, yeah, that's
I
tough.
want to talk about hurdles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's it. So it's coming. That kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
here.
That is something that fans will never, ever, ever forget. I
Totally.
think that's a huge part of why people are obsessed with the Taylor Swift everything.
Yes.
Of the show itself is
Yeah.
like they're all in it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're playing a role in the experience.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, I think that's one of people's favorite parts is like when the artist says, everyone turn that flashlight on, let's get it.
Yeah.
Riley does it for I Wish Grandpa's Never Died, and it's magical.
Yeah.
Magical.
Whoa. And if you had that on the song Out and it's just, boom,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whoa. And then maybe Apple comes out with a flashlight that's pink and green
Yeah.
and blue.
We have
RGB.
we have those little
Films,
stickers that we
yeah.
partner.
The stickers.
Jacksonville Jaguars did that last year. They did like a stripe. They had sections that were white and then others that were teal.
No.
And so it made a kind of a pattern around the stadium. Yeah.
There is so much that you can do. This
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really just like, will you invest just a little bit of time,
Yeah.
a
And
little
effort.
bit of money and effort on
Yeah.
the front end? If you'll do that, and then you've got a whole tour that's going to pick up all of that little bit of effort is going to have massive results.
Because it's so rinse and repeat every night, as a tour is, right? Like this, that it fits perfectly in there. That it's just rinse and repeat what we're able to do. And so when you identify that operator, you put that effort in, say, hey, here's your operator, here's gonna be your person, and then off you go.
There are certain artists that do not take the stage for a while, and they might not have an opener, and again, that's my least favorite part. Always, I go late. But usually, if the artist does a good enough job, you're not leaving saying, "Yeah, but that changeover sucked."
Yeah.
But imagine if you didn't even have that at all. It was just like interactive, interesting.
Totally.
You were engaged, and then your favorite artist plays.
100%.
It's like another elevation to it. There's not this, and I have to talk and
Yeah. We did this cool activation with the Vegas Golden Knights where we have AI built into our post-up now where we can give it a prompt and it will turn the photo into something else. So it'll take your face, it will maintain your face, but put you in a different setting. So we put everyone in a medieval setting. And so they had this, we'll send you some photos so maybe you could share it. It looks so cool that you look like a
1400s like medieval
painting.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
I was doing it today. We had a call this morning. I was having coffee and I was trying to just play around because I saw what Vegas did, and I literally typed in with the AI. I did turn the scene into a William Shakespeare character in a theater. I'll show you this because I literally took a picture of a gentleman across the sidewalk from me, and then he's literally just in a theater. It was wild. So we've done some cool things with some artists, just talking about. You can just do lookalikes. Like I have a in my demos that I do with people. Willie Nelson lookalike is the one for me. I literally just type in Willie Nelson lookalike.
Yes.
And everybody
unbelievable.
just gets transformed immediately. Like it's so easy and it's like it's
But
so
it's still
spot on.
You're just now Willie Nelson.
Yeah.
It's the craziest thing.
wow.
It's really fun. Really fun.
I'm even thinking that like Sabrina Carpenter could have like it's her and then the little face next to her,
Yeah.
so that like you have a picture with Sabrina Carpenter
Yeah,
or whatever.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, there's so much to
There's
do.
so
It's so
much.
creative.
Yeah.
And do you guys get to maybe as you're diving into music, do you get to collaborate with the artists of like what exactly do you want and we're gonna do it?
We have a little bit. I think that was kind of like that Daddy Yankee example I talked
Yeah.
about with Sooner and the Playground crew.
Yep.
That was probably the closest we got from an artist perspective. Typically, it's more with the label or with management. It's never really like getting too deep with the artists. Because it's because typically we're doing stuff not while they're performing.
Yes.
So it's not as much about the creative behind it as much as it's just what can we do in that downtime.
Yeah, and we can take that part out.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I'm exploring.
I
all
think
those.
I think what we'll see is something that we did with F1 was actually with Fancy. One of the drivers actually scanned in, and we were able to show the driver up with fans. And so it'd be. I think what we'll see is them actually using this backstage of like showing what's going on.
The Morgan Wall and
backstage.
walkout, basically.
Yes.
You could do it on a cell
Yes.
phone.
Yeah.
You can do it on somebody's cell phone now.
So now that production,
Wow.
you don't have to have this whole thing. It's not so canned. It's like real fluid and simple.
Authentic.
Yeah, very authentic.
That is too cool. So you make it interesting for the fan. You give them something to do.
Yeah.
You capture their data. That's extremely valuable. You talked about Riley a lot, but I do want to hear more about Greta.
Yeah. And I think the thing to just think about too is when we're capturing the data, we're doing it in a seamless way. That's not like in your face, you need to sign up for this. It's, hey, literally just put in your email address or put in your phone number. With Riley, it literally was just put in your email. I mentioned it. I went to a show in Baton Rouge. I live in New Orleans. And I was standing there in the pit with my wife and we were doing all the products. And I saw people standing in front of me, literally putting in their email to do post up. And I tapped them on the shoulder. I said, hey, do y'all mind if I ask, like, why'd you do that? And they just said, because we want to see ourselves on there. I said, and putting in your email didn't matter. They're like, no, that was easy. That was nothing. Why not? So it was like, okay, there's anecdotal, real feedback with that.
Yeah.
So on Riley's tour, we did 33 shows with the Ain't My Last Rodeo tour last year. We got them 12,818 emails across those
Wow.
shows. And then like 15,000 pieces of user-generated content and post-up. So that was awesome. Also this year we did Greta Van Fleet's spring tour.
Yeah.
We did 10 shows. They were just like, hey, we have 10 arena shows. We're looking to do something, work with the team over at Q Prime. And they did post-up trivia and Fancy as well. And they said, hey, we're going to push the boundaries of the data collection. They collected phone numbers, first and last name, emails, verified phone numbers. Let me step back. So this was, hey, put in your phone number, you get texted a 4-digit code, and then you're into the platform. That's your gate of entry to do that. So it was first and last name, verified phone numbers, emails, zip codes, and date of births.
Shut up.
10 shows. It was 6,870 users across the 10 shows. But that equated to over 26,000 points of data in 10 shows that they did with the products.
Whoa.
So that was something when I tell people that's alarming.
Well, and why zip code?
They were seeing, so at first zip code actually wasn't a thing. Their primary focus was to do birthdays to find out the age, right? And just really kind of hone in on that. And then they actually saw people somehow joining in from the outside. And so I think it was people sending links around, because everything we do with it being web-based, you could just text a link to post up, share your photos, things like that. So they're like, all right, if we're having people outside of the show, let's find out the zip code, find out where these people are from.
Wow.
And so it was just finding that out. And literally what they would do is like, you'd be able to see it, our platform builds a user profile, and they just export out this CSV file, and you're able to see, here's Kyle Campbell, New Orleans, Louisiana. Here's his birthday, September 10th. Send me a birthday gift, everybody. Appreciate you. No.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then here, and
Genius,
and
though. Happy birthday from Greta Van Fleet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And so you're able to have all that stuff, that data there, and it builds this profile, and they put it all in their CRM, and they're like, this blew us away from the expectation of what we were able to do.
Also seeing that you're in New Orleans, but you drove to Georgia for the whatever
Totally.
it is.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, so this is, that could help the promoter out too. The promoter could know, okay, we can really get these fans to drive because they love this artist.
Yeah.
And so sick.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a no-brainer. Again, too freaking cool. I have some rapid fire questions for you guys though.
Please.
We already did my first one, which is first concert.
Oh Lord.
What's the next one? It is
Second concert.
no
La Bouche.
La Bouche?
Yeah.
Okay. Third. Let's go.
Ooh, done. I'm out. I was like 6. I'm done.
I don't remember my third concert. What's your favorite venue to go to for a show or to have a Q experience?
Well, it's 2 different answers.
Two different.
Yeah, the best experience was the Superdome. I mean, walking out, listen, for it being so dark and that many people, like I got to be on the field for one of them, and I'll never forget walking out on that field and seeing just how big that venue is. It is mind-blowing. So that was probably one of my...
For me, for a concert, it's definitely, I got to go to Red Rocks last year with my wife. Yes. We saw Old Dominion out there, and it was unbelievable. So I'd say that. And then for Q activation, I'd probably say SoFi Stadium. We work with the Chargers. We worked with the Rams last year. That board is just so crazy. I got to be part of the Super Bowl there in 2021 and be part of that production and stuff. So it was wild to see the products up on that screen.
I was actually telling my son this story the other day. We lit up Thompson Bowling Stadium. Thompson Bowling Stadium.
Arena, right? Or you're talking about UT.
Neyland Stadium.
Stadium.
So I was telling my son the other day, we lit up Neyland Stadium. We did a light show with them. We worked with Tennessee Forever. And I was out on the field, and I had this 360 camera, and it was at halftime. And I've got it filming, and it was right at the end of halftime. And I'm literally on the 20-yard line, and the lights are still down, and then all of a sudden the lights go up. Our light show's still going. Lights come up, and I look at the Jumbotron, and they're kicking off, and I'm still on the field.
No.
So I sprint. I start sprinting off, and luckily
the game goes on no matter what.
Yeah, luckily they kick the other way. So I have taken.
That's funny.
I'm a Division I athlete now.
Don't get him going. Don't get him going. He'll bring you his high school tape.
Oh, I will. Don't you?
That's insane.
That was great. Anyways, you have more
questions. Can you do a light show during the daytime, or is that when you get the trivia in and all that?
You can. I mean, obviously the darker the better, but that primarily with the teams, that's when we're doing all the different other
Monday Night Football.
Yeah, the Chiefs leave they left their lights as bright as they could because they can't turn them off, so it still looked good. But we would definitely recommend night.
I mean, what's darker than a music show, than a concert?
Totally.
For real.
This is too cool. Okay, wait, I gotta move on. Oh my gosh. If you could collaborate with any artist or band, past or present, who would it be?
Past or present?
I'm going Zach Bryan. I love Zach Bryan. I love his concert experience. I use one word, which is spiritual.
Yeah.
And
that's what everyone says.
Yeah, I've seen him 3 times now. I saw him twice on this tour, then once last year. And I just think it's also a ripe audience that's wanting to do stuff. They're there, they're drinking, they're having a good time. Something like post up on the screens, like
Yeah.
it's just so perfect. So I would say ZB is my guy there.
Dude, that is a tough past or present?
Yeah. Your all time.
He's gonna say George.
No, I mean George Strait. I think the Beatles would be like, because the fan base, because like you would have they would get so creative with the products. They would do some crazy stuff. So like if you were to bring them to now, I can only imagine what they'd be doing.
Whoa. Do you think, I mean, clearly Taylor Swift is bigger than the Beatles.
Yeah. I mean, Taylor would be amazing because the amount of participation that you'd see. And I think what would be really cool about Taylor, and I'm speaking to you, Taylor.
Look into the camera for this one.
She's a Gigs podcast listener.
Yeah, exactly. She's definitely listening to this. No, but like just giving a piece of content for the fan that is from your show.
Yeah.
I think, they go home with the wristband, which is really cool. I think that's Pix Mob. They do an incredible job with the wristband, 100% participation. So I don't know if we'd ever be able to, replace that with our light show. I think we could complement it in a lot of ways. But I think the video board content would just be insane. Yeah. I think kids would go crazy for it. I think adults would go crazy for it. I think my wife wanted to go see Taylor as much, if not more, than my daughter. So it's like, I think the amount of people that want to be a part and feel like they were seen by her, that would be really cool.
Coming from like a non-Swiftie, I have so much respect
How
for
dare you.
that. I know, I'm sorry.
She doesn't mean that. She doesn't mean it.
But an amazing show and everything. I respect it. But that crowd, that audience that she's gotten is literally the most super fan person I think that exists.
Totally.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of Taylor Swift fans are like the crazy fans for other artists too,
sure.
like the Harry Styles
sure.
and like Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like that would be the most insane case study of,
sure.
Taylor Swift is telling us to scan a QR code. Every damn person in the room would do it.
You know what's funny though is like we've had meetings with some people in music. They're like, oh, why don't you just get Taylor Swift to do this?
Yeah, they just say.
I literally had somebody tell me that. He's a good friend of mine. Not going to name names, but he literally said to me, he's like, why don't you just get Taylor Swift on this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right. Why don't we?
Yeah. Why don't we? That's a great idea.
Funny. I think Dokke knew Taylor when she was like really young. Because
Big Machine.
You may or may not.
Hey,
want to put that in there.
Ryan, let's get him back
Yeah,
on.
right,
Let's
right.
grill him on that one.
I would say venue would be. I can't wait to go to the Sphere.
Dude,
I haven't-
same. Well, you did the walkthrough.
I did a walkthrough, but it was in construction, so I didn't get to actually see everything.
I want to see Paul Simon at the Sphere. That's like my ultimate dream.
Cool.
He's my dude. That's my guy. Yeah.
Okay.
And okay, 2 more questions.
Yeah.
If you weren't working in this or live events or sports or music or anything or tech, what would you be doing?
You just like took out so many.
Yeah,
things.
that's like all I know.
Say what we.
You're
can't
working.
say.
You're working in your dream, which is amazing. But if you weren't doing any of this, what would you want to be doing?
If I wasn't doing any of this,
Money
what
doesn't
would I be
matter.
doing?
What is the dream?
Oh,
Money doesn't matter. I want to live on an island with my wife and our dogs and just not work.
Not work.
you would be miserable.
I know. I'd like to do
You
things.
love to do things.
I'm a fiddler.
You like food too. Like
Well,
you love.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
do.
chef.
I do. No, not to cook. I like to
No,
consume.
he knows
I like to
every good
consume.
spot.
Consume.
Yeah,
knows
I would.
all
I
the
like
good
that. I
spots.
could be a food critic.
Yeah, you'd be good.
I'm not detailed enough, but I'll give you a yes or a no.
There it is.
Yeah.
That is it.
It's more often than not just a yes. Like, and living in New Orleans, I've got
There's
a lot of
lot.
yes. I've got a map.
Barbecue joint
I literally have a.
too.
I literally have a map of like 90 restaurants and bars I send to everybody in New Orleans. So,
Okay,
yeah,
foodie.
I might do that.
I love bringing ideas to life. I mean, I really like.
Can't do that.
Yeah, can I not?
You can't be an entrepreneur, man. You
Yeah,
can't
I
do
can't
it.
not. I don't know. I just,
Cannot at 2 a.m.
No. It's just that achievement.
Yeah.
It's hard to replace. Like getting to the end. Like I had a target and I knew where we were going and we'd made it. And
Wow.
like that is that feeling is it's
So everything
hard
I've
to
been
beat.
feeling for the last 2 years
Yes.
is gonna be
Yeah,
worth it.
It for me it was never about the money. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to say that. Like
Yep.
it was about the achievement. I really wanted to get to the NFL. And
Wow.
that was the mecca, you know. And now it's like, okay, what's next? And now it's tours and brands and all the other things. So
And who knows what's after that? You
Yeah.
know, wild.
Sure.
And then lastly, in one word, describe the future of live concerts. I was really hoping that you guys would go 1, 2, 3, cue.
We could do that, but
No, I'm kidding.
I think immersive is probably the best word.
it's chalky.
Oh yeah, let's get better then.
It's chalky.
Chalky?
Yeah, like that's like what everybody would say.
No, but I mean, if you really think about it, I could expand, but like what we're seeing with AI, it's going to be crazy. I don't know what that means for, I think it'll be individualized.
Oh, that's
Maybe
Cool.
that's a good word.
Maybe that's the word.
Interesting.
So it's appropriate for you.
Yeah.
I'd say boundless.
Oh.
Like it's just there's a lot of opportunity to be individualized. It plays off of that. That like you have a lot of opportunity to do some really cool stuff and just finding the right people to take the right risks, as we've kind of seen. Like it's just getting that there, and there's a lot of opportunity to do some really cool things.
So cool.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being here.
Of course.
This
Thanks for
was
having
really
us.
exciting.
Well, we believe in what you're building. I think Gigs is going to do some great things. I really do. I think it's giving a platform for people. It's going to just make that whole process so much easier. So we believe in what you're building, and really proud of you for
Thank you.
giving Nashville what it really needs.
Oh, thanks.
Filling the need,
Gosh.
so.
Well, thank y'all. Talk about where you can find Q and all the good things.
Yeah, connectwithq.com or qaudio.com. Yeah, come find us.
Or Sabrina Carpenter's tour.
Yo.
Or like 20 NFL, NBA,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
NHL. Yeah, you name it.
Hopefully some listeners will actually have experienced this already.
Yeah.
It
They know what we're
happens
talking
way
about.
more than
Yeah,
you think.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
people
Yeah.
are literally this is a real life story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 days. What day is today?
Wednesday.
On Monday, I had a call with people with a New Jersey based convenience store that some people may or may not be familiar with. Great subs, and they found
we
one of our, somebody found our products at a NASCAR event at Watkins Glen. They saw Fancy. And then somebody else went to the Eagles game, that Monday Night Football game. They're like, wait, you did the light show at the Eagles, and wait, you do that thing where I took a selfie and submitted it to the video board. So literally within this room, there's three individuals, two of which had experienced the products at different places, which
Recently,
was
too.
really. I called them afterwards. I was like,
Yeah.
you'll never guess
Yeah.
what just happened. It's always cool to see that. And even honest to God, when we did the demo for Riley's team here at Big Machine, one of his staff members, one of Riley's managers, literally said, "Wait, this looks like something I saw at the Titans game."
Yo! Oh, that's too cool.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to experience it. I
Yeah.
can't wait for this to get into music because it's, again, no brainer. And thank you guys for being here.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks
having
so
us.
much.